What's good, my idol monglers? Today, I got a very special video prepared for you right here on my tablet. Well, the video itself is not on my tablet, but the idea of the video is on my tablet. It is the the hot takes video. We will be doing the hot takes video. I'm going to be reacting to your hot takes. Honestly, I haven't looked at a lot of these. I read a couple that were shorter that I knew, didn't have any hot takes in them. I read, excuse me. And I read, a couple that, were more just like, I agreed with this, I didn't agree with this, and stuff like that. But most of the big ones I did not touch or read at all. So last time I read them a little bit. I read them and I would think of like my response and that kind of stuff, and I would have like a rebuttal or whether I agreed or disagreed. This straight off the cuff. We're gonna see what happens when I go. I mean, every video is straight off the cuff. This is straight off the cuff. So let's just do this. First comment, the video title should be renamed to reading my top 10 most valid points. So, you know what? We're already locked in. Okay, here we go. All right, first one, pretty big. By Regis Realm, my biggest hot take is that power scaling between different series, whether it's anime, manga, or manhwa, is almost always pointless and just fuels unnecessary arguments among fans. Every time I see these debates in threads or Discord chats, it almost always comes down to personal bias. It's less about logic and more about who people want to win. Let me say first off, in my opinion, the reason why people balance or people do these kind of things where they power scale characters to other characters is because they love that character or that anime that they're a part of, but they just don't really know how to express it. So they just come down to the line of being like, he's powerful. So even when you look at stuff like sports manga, you look at Blue Lock, a big part of Blue Lock is who is the best striker out of Blue Lock? Who's the greatest overall player? Who's gonna make the top 23 is more about like story wise, but I do think that like a lot of people who do this kind of stuff really are just doing it because they don't really know how to express why they like something, so they have to bring it down to a very surface level of I think this character would beat this character, and that's why this anime is trash. I mean, you see it. Okay, I think he's going to say it right now. A classic example is Goku versus Saitama. We could go back and forth all day about feats, universes, and abilities, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. These debates rarely lead to anything productive. True, but like, I hate to burst your bubble. No manga discussion comes from anything productive. Like, these videos are not productive at all. I'm here to have fun, and if people are having fun this way, I got no issue with it, but I do see what you mean. And let me give a tiny bit of a hot take. When people are power scaling characters, they need to keep in mind how the author is going to write it. Like, if, let's say, Saitama versus Goku was written by a different person or written by one, because obviously Akira Toriyama couldn't write it, but just written by a neutral person, Saitama would win 10 times out of 10. No matter what feats you have, no matter whatever, Saitama would win because he is our cartoonish character, because he has Toon Force. Like, Toon Force is way powerful because it's literally plot armor. It's literally the author going, he's going to win because he has to. That's the comedy of the story. A character cannot beat the genre of a manga. Like, it just can't. Okay. He goes, that said, I think it's totally fine to have lighthearted discussions, hype up favorite characters, or joke around with other fans. That can actually be really fun. But when people take it too seriously, acting like their favorite character's superiority is some undeniable fact, it just gets ridiculous. There's no official manga character ranking chart for Shonen Jump or anything. Series aren't made to be scaled against each other, and honestly, they shouldn't be. Sorry, series popped up on my fucking shit. Because I thought I heard I said Siri. So what does this mean? He's just saying it's fine if you're doing light art away. I agree too. I guess like really anything if you're like gonna threaten the other person, it's pretty bad. Like even if you want to talk about manga on a very like deep and nuanced level, even if you're like, bro, you don't get this and I'm gonna murder your fucking family. Okay, like we don't have to bring it that far. Okay, I just didn't like Attack on Titan. All right, that's it. Who cares? But yeah, I mean, I agree. And then he says last time, oh, he has a video idea. It'd be cool if you reacted to or rated fans' MAL or analyst profiles, giving your thoughts on their scores and rankings. Since you don't have a Discord, maybe a Google form could work to collect submissions. Is something to keep in mind. Keep up the good work. Okay. Before I say this, I would like to say I have an announcement. Discord server is coming at 1.5K. One actually 2K, not 1.2K. We're already at 2,000 subscribers, maybe 1.5 if I see a lot of love about it. 2K, Discord server is coming. And YouTube membership is coming. I promise. And it'll be like $1 a month. This guy says, damn, the crying tick is so valid. I can't stand the straight face crying like, what the fuck? Okay, I hate that shit. I hate when the... Oh my god, I hate it. Keep up the great work. My take would be that one bad arc in an anime manga should not be a reason to drop it. I agree to a certain extent. It really depends because I feel like most manga, when they do have a bad arc, it's more of a setup arc or filler arc. But and it also depends how much I love the manga. Like if I'm reading a manga that I rate a 6 out of 10 and we get to an arc that is truly like in my opinion, a 3 out of 10, I'm gonna drop it. There's just no reason for me to continue. But if One Piece, like if I read One Piece and I got to Wano and I thought Wano was incredibly bad, I would trudge through it. Especially because no matter how bad the arc itself is, the characters are still there. They're still lovable characters. And even if they do act out of character, the feelings I had before, they're still there. Like, even if Luffy starts, I don't know, starts brainstorming tactics or whatever, like a shit he never does, my love for Luffy is still in the story. I still experience it. It's not like that goes away just because I reached one bad arc. Now, obviously it depends on the length of the arc. Like one Wano, I think is like 100 chapters, 150 chapters, and then like, I mean, I don't really know what else, but like I look at Blue Lock and I see like people didn't really like the NEL one. I think Blue Lock's is better as a like a binging manga, like not even like a chapter by chapter manga. Like I don't think it's good at all to read it that way, even though I read it that way. I've seen people drop Blue Lock because they didn't like the pacing of the NEL and they went back and they love it. Like it's hard to be like, okay, this manga that I love, I'm going to drop it because I don't like this arc. But also, if I'm not loving a manga and I get to a bad arc, there's no reason for me to continue. Unless there's like a huge support of just get to this moment or whatever, or just get to this arc, then maybe I'll continue. But if I read a manga I've never heard of and I read 10 volumes of it and I think it's pretty good and I get to like I'm saying insanely bad, like characters don't make any sense, the plot is incredibly boring, it's convoluted, nothing is making any sense anymore, like it's super like just basic and average and like it's just awful. If I get to that point, I'm dropping it. There's no reason for me to continue. And this doesn't even talk about if an arc comes at the beginning of a manga. Like, this is not my opinion, but a lot of people have said in One Piece they hate Orange Town. I fucking love Orange Town. They hate Orange Town. Is that a reason to drop One Piece? I mean, maybe not, because it's known for having a bad beginning and then slowly ramping up to where it is today. But it is an interesting topic to at least think about. Okay, this guy just said, can't wait for Versus Volume 3, same thing. People giving me compliments. Bro, I'm so happy that I have, like, a good community. Every single time I drop a video, half the comments are like, damn, your hair looks good today. Damn, another fire video. Damn, wow, this is my favorite manga tuber. Like, bro, thank you. Like, what? I am not asking for these at all, and I'm just getting them like randomly. Like what? Okay. Here's Ink Knight 6893's hot take. Is that some manga have a one-time wonder feel, meaning I think there are some manga that when you first read it can blow you away or completely change your life, but then never feel the same. Second time you read and revisit it, no matter how badly you want it, just doesn't feel the same. I 100% agree about this. And honestly, this isn't really like a hot take. This is kind of just a statement, but I 100% agree with this. And this has happened to me so many times. And it's honestly kind of scary because I went back to Your Lie in April, did not love it as much. Still my top 10, did not love it as much. I'm scared to go back to a manga like Fool Knight or Versus that I spoke so highly of the first like 2 volumes, 3 volumes, and for it to not be as good. And I went to go do that. I reread I read the last volume of The Horizon, and I read the first couple of, reread the first couple volumes of Blue Period, which is some of my favorite manga in the world, and they still hit the same, if not even a little bit better. So there's some series where it's like when I read them again, and Haikyuu is the biggest one I'm so scared of because I've sung my praise about Haikyuu so much, and there'll be so many times where I read something and I'm like, is this better than Haikyuu? Because Haikyuu is my number one. And I go, is this better than Haikyuu? This is past it. And then every time I'm like, no, it does not. But there's that tiny little thought in the back of my head that goes, what if it's just nostalgia, or what if it's just because it was your first manga, and then I go back to some of my favorite moments, some of even just long stretches in IQ. It could be the beginning of the manga that isn't as good as the rest of it, and it's still like, no, immediately this is the best. But that thought does come into the back of my head a lot, and it does happen. Like genuinely, it does happen. Okay. This guy's responding to my hot takes. He says, reading One Piece weekly with the community reaction is so good. Uh, I agree. I just think on a personal level, it's just so awful to read week to week. One Piece is a good example of reading week to week because those chapters are so jam packed with information. But when you read a manga like Blue Lock, where there's like 3 double page spreads each fucking chapter, there's not a lot of substance to it. I mean, the art is incredible. I'm not complaining about the double spreads, but there's just not much substance to each chapter. That's why the pacing can feel slow. And we don't need critics, in my opinion. Mouse scores plus YouTube creators is a good enough indicator of quality. Other than that, agree with the takes. Again, but we could have those YouTubers be critics themselves, like actually give scores themselves that reflect their opinions, and then mouse scores just like we can't have every single fan be able to dictate what we assume is like the definitive quality of a manga. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Here's his few takes. Not being able to enjoy a piece of fiction due to prior info about the creator is dumb as fuck. Like, I don't like the Rurouni Kenshin author, but that doesn't mean it impacted at all of my enjoyment of the content one bit. A good story is a good story. I 100% agree. Separating the art from the artist. Listen, I'm Jewish. I still listen to Kanye. I genuinely don't care. Let's go into 100 years into the future. What are people going to be talking about? Kanye's controversies or some of his greatest albums of all time? In my opinion, I think we're going to be talking about his albums. Go back. You could even go back to some of like history's worst villain. You go back to Hitler, right? In history class, when you go to like a history class, are people talking about if Hitler was a good or bad guy? Well, I mean, most people are going to say he's a bad guy, like obviously. But are we talking about if Hitler was a good or bad guy? No, we're talking about his actions, what he did. Same thing with people with media. I do not care about the person. I'm not supporting the person. I'm supporting the art. If he makes good art or she makes good art, fuck if I care about the person. I'm going to experience it. That's my job as a consumer. His job as a producer is to produce something. My job as a consumer is to consume something. So who cares? And if I really think, honestly, if you are someone who goes like, I can't experience this because the person behind it is awful, then I think the person who makes it, the producer, should be allowed to look at all his consumers and be like, I don't want this person consuming my stuff. I think they're an awful person. Because it goes both ways. And if you don't think that, if you don't think the producer can do that, then I think you need to change your opinion. I mean, that's just my opinion. You can do whatever you want as an adult, but that's just my opinion. Okay. Second, the top manga that started publishing in the past decade have been a clear downgrade from the decades that came before it, although there have been quantity of decent to good titles. I agree with this, but like, what do you want authors to do at this point? They're like, especially manga, like Shonen Jump manga creators, they're being overworked like a lot, especially nowadays, and they're just not being as long. Like, take like a Kagurabachi. How can you realistically judge 3, 4 volumes of Kagurabachi to the 70 volumes of Naruto, 70 like if we have to judge what's coming out now to what came out before, we have to judge it on the length terms. Like, no manga right now is coming out that's 70, 80, 90, 100 volumes. Except the only manga that might be doing that is Blue Lock and The 100 Girlfriends, which is crazy because The 100 Girlfriends and Blue Lock are both expected to be 70 volumes each. Especially Blue Lock. I think Blue Lock will be exceedingly long. But like no manga, like JJK ended at what fucking 30 volumes, I think, around there. I think maybe a little bit less. My Hero Academia actually went pretty long, but that's been since like 2010, and that can be considered like an old manga. So, um, what's it called? Oh my, sorry, I just read the last one. It got me upset. Fuck, fuck, it got me upset. I forgot what I was going to say. This is the biggest fumble of all time. I'm just going to move on to the next one. All right. Including this one because I know you're a fan, but I did not care for the two main characters of Alice in Borderland, Usagi and Erisu. Love those characters. Which is a shame because the games are well executed, but I just didn't really root for the main character, so I felt a bit uninterested about whether he won or lost most of the times. You know what? Honestly, fuck, fair enough. Like fair enough. Because I love Erisu as a main character. I think what makes him such a good character is just how like flawed he is as a person. Like he isn't a good like he has a good heart, but he isn't the great executor of that most of the time. And he kind of just goes off of his emotions a lot. And then when he can clutch up in those games using his logic and reasoning, it's a lot better. Like it just like I don't know. It just makes me a lot more interested in him as a character. And then Usagi, I didn't really care for Usagi for most of the manga until we got her backstory about her dad, and then I really liked her. And then she had that great speech when she was like playing that game where she was like running across the fucking blocks or whatever. She had that great speech about who she was as a person and what that meant to her, and really just finishing off her character arc. And I think they really solidified themselves as incredible characters to me at the final game. Where both of their different personalities shine so much, and just the conflict within that, just I really, really enjoyed. I get it, like if you don't like either of them, because they are pretty basic as like character ideas. Like there's nothing flashy going on. I'm not saying like this person is wrong for thinking, oh, they only like flashy characters. But yeah, when you meet them, they don't have they don't have good introductions like at all. And Erisu is definitely a better character with his two friends that die very early on, but I just honestly, respectfully disagree. Here we go. The sooner animation, this is the same guy, by the way. He put like 10 takes, which thank God. This video will be 40 minutes long. The sooner anime switches to a universal OVA, such ONA format, rather than the rigid 24 episode format, the better. Too often, shows are ruined due to cutting content to try to reach a climax by the end of the runtime. Whereas an OVA format like Pluto or Kimi no Tonoke Season 3 did allow directors as much freedom as possible. Okay, an OVA. Isn't OVA just like a long-ass episode? I agree. Or I think it's just like a random runtime amount of episodes and that kind of stuff, and you have longer episodes. I agree 100% wholeheartedly. With anime, I get it because most anime need to fit like a runtime to like be aired. That's how, I mean, most anime make their money based off like DVD sales, but like anime also make their money off broadcasting, and they need to fit a 24-minute time slot. They can't just get like they can't just make an hour episode and be fine with it. Like the only anime that can do that are like the big anime like Demon Slayer, Oshinoko did that with this episode 1. Like the very, very popular ones. Honestly, Blue Lock would have done that if their season was better, if it was more, I mean, Blue Lock's already incredibly popular, but if it was more popular, it would have probably combined its last 2 episodes into 1 episode. It just didn't. It just came out together, but doesn't really matter. Yeah, I agree. I'm not really a big fan of anime in general, so it's not really my issue if an anime is less or better or whatever. I do like though that a lot of anime nowadays are switching up the pacing and switching up like the sequence of events to match a show's pacing. I do think that is a good workaround to the fact that they can't really change the episode amounts and at some studios, especially because like that's not really like a director's choice. Like if anything, that's like the people higher up being like, we're gonna have 12 episodes. This is gonna be the runtime. Figure it out. That's like the higher ups doing that shit. That's not really the director being like, we're gonna have 12 episodes. Figure it out. So yeah. Last one, JoJo's manga, or not last one, second last one. JoJo's manga is S tier, but should be read black and white rather than colored. I have no opinion on this. You guys can argue about it in the comments. Once the Manhwa space gets their act together and stops producing the same solo leveling regens, becoming more varied content, producing content like Bastard, it could become even more popular in the modern manga, given the ease of readability and same art and sheer quantity being produced. I agree, but honestly, like, we're not going to get to that point probably ever. Like, you look at the big manhwa sites, which is just Webtoon. It's only Webtoon, by the way, just Webtoon. The most popular manhwa on there are just romance, power fantasy, romance, power fantasy, romance, power fantasy. It's hard to stop that level. Like, there needs to be an excessive amount of care from Webtoon to be like, we need to produce better content, or like more quality content, which most likely will not happen. It's like if in Shonen Jump, they were like, you know what, we're making a lot of these action manga. We need to switch to dark. We need to switch to dark psychological thrillers. Like, okay, maybe if the switch there, they have better produced manga and their manga higher quality or whatever. But the magazine is going to take a huge dip in money-wise. So, realistically, is Shonen Jump going to do that? No! So, I do agree. I do think, like, maybe not bigger than manga, just because manga, one, have the... they have the advantage of anime, and anime is just way more like popular than manga and manhwa combined. So when you see this on Crunchyroll all the time when you go to the stores. When anime comes out, all the manga of it gets bought away and it's all out of stock. So there's nothing really to do about that. So maybe the manhwa space needs a better like anime like creating space where anime need to come out just more. Like the Boxer, I think has been in development, like the anime for it has been in development for a while. I would love the Horizon like movie. I think that'd be maybe not like coming out I mean, I would love for it to come out in theaters, but like maybe like coming out and like fucking, I don't even know, like just DVD or some shit. I would love a movie like that. Like there's a lot of manhwa that I personally love. Like Killing Stalking will never get an anime. Like just because the graphic violent nature of it. Like Bastard, it probably won't get an anime. Sweet Home it could. Sweet Home would definitely get an anime actually, because it's more like Chainsaw Man kind of. That one would be a lot more popular, but like a lot of these manhwa don't have safe for work products to create anime out of. At least like in my opinion, the very well produced and the very high quality ones. So yeah. Thank you very much to that guy. Sorry, let me read his name. I'm not reading that name. That's like 50 words. Thank you very much. He included a lot of discussion. So this guy says, Jod Atia. This guy's my guy. He's been on my channel since like 200 subscribers. Yeah, I agree that we need more delinquent manga. Thank you very much. Tokyo Revengers was just so cool and hype. There are so many manga on my TBR that are delinquent manga, but they just don't have an official release, and I don't like reading scans. Yeah. This guy says, now we need your dad doing anime reviews on the channel. You guys don't want to meet my dad. He's awful. Okay, here we go. Hot take, Noella Silva is the best written character in all of manga. I could explain, but I would write too much. Honestly, go ahead and write, because I disagree entirely. Noella Silva is not even like my top 50. She's the girl in Black Clover. I cannot care less for her. And I've read like maybe, I think 10 volumes of Black Clover. Could not care less. I mean, I like her. She's probably one of my favorite characters in Black Clover. But that doesn't really say much. I don't really like Black Clover like that. Okay. I have a recommendation. You could do live streams where you read manga. I could do live streams. I don't know. I just don't really have a lot of interest in it. And I don't really have like a lot of time. Like most of my free time besides reading like manga and books, as well as watching soccer and like just hanging around like my friends and stuff, is making these videos. So either I make videos 3 times a week or I live stream. So it's or I'm just gonna have to give up some stuff that I like. I might just give up fucking reading. Versus is not better than Mob Psycho. I guess this is this guy's hot take. Don't care. Like, I like Versus more, okay? Fucking sue me. I like Versus more. Okay, this is a hot take right here by Stone Dragon 9. Shuzo Oshimi is better than Naoki Urasawa. Now, hold on. I might have to agree with you. It's close, though. It's actually close for me. I love both authors, but I've read more. Okay, Shuzo Oshimi, I've read Blood on the Tracks, Happiness, Flowers of Evil, and Welcome Back Alice. Those are the 4 manga I've read of his. They're not all complete, or at least I haven't read them all to completion. And I think a 5th manga is coming out as well that I'm very excited for. I have not read those completion, but I do enjoy all those very much. Naoki Urasawa, the ones I've read are Monster to completion, Asadora to whatever's out, and half of Pluto, which I thought was very good, just very boring. Now, if we had it, okay, Blood on the Tracks, in my opinion, is better than Monster. I know Monster's cult classic. Everyone loves Monster. I fucking love Monster. That one's tough. That's the difference between my 12th favorite manga in the world to my 13th favorite manga in the world. Like, it could go either way any day. Right now, it's Blood on the Tracks. Asadora to Happiness? Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. I have to go with Happiness. No, Asadora. I have to go with Asadora. And then Pluto to what? Flowers of Evil. Honestly, kind of Flowers of Evil. Pluto, I've only read half of it, and I heard the other half of it is so much better. But I just right now, Flowers of Evil. I guess if what I've read, I'd say Shuzo Oshimi, but that is really, really tough. And Naoki Urasawa has come out with more manga, but maybe Shuzo Oshimi's next manga is going to be incredible, and I just love Shuzo Oshimi's writing style, but I also love Naoki Urasawa's writing style, so it's really, really hard to pick. Right now, where I'm at of what I've read, and I haven't even touched stuff like 20th Century Boys. What I've read, I have to go with Shuzo Oshimi, but honestly, I cannot blame you. Honestly, I would congratulate you if you went Naoki Urasawa. Okay, this guy says a lot. Steve Clark 1. This guy also comments a lot on my videos. I'm very thankful. My hot take are good manga should get more of a priority when it comes to a good anime adaptation. Like Demon Slayer and Mob Psycho 100 are not even on the same level of quality as Blue Lock and Sakamoto Days when it comes to manga. But they have a much better anime, it feels weird. And then this goes on to a second one. So let me talk about this first one. I 100% agree. Stuff like Sakamoto Days and Blue Lock, it's hard too because honestly, in my opinion, I feel like if you give enough resources and you give enough time and you put the right people on a project, any manga in the world could become the next popular thing as like their anime. Any manga in the world, doesn't matter. But something like Demon Slayer and Mob Psycho, where their manga, like I like those manga, but their manga are so like piss poor compared to like a Blue Lock, where I'm just saying art-wise. Like art quality-wise, Blue Lock is leagues better than both of those, but Blue Lock's like adaptation is just so much worse. So it doesn't really, there's not really understanding, and it does like come to the fact that making an anime is a lot more complicated than we think. Like you can't just be like, okay, Blue Lock, make a good project, and then a good project just spats out of the oven, you know? There's time, there's resources, you need talent, you need skill, you need a good schedule, you need a good production team, you need a good studio on it, you need good time frames, you need to set it up well, and you need to market it well. Like, there's a bunch of shit that goes into making a good anime that me or you do not know, but yeah, it does feel a bit weird when an anime comes out and it's like, I read the manga, man. Like, it should not be this good. Like, even look at a Windbreaker. I love Windbreaker. I think Windbreaker is incredible. But damn, that anime, like, hype it up a lot more than it actually was. Like, that anime improved it a lot more. And I get that is the point. And you don't want to make a anime and put your blood, sweat, and tears for 2.5 years on an anime of a manga that everyone already loves, and then for everyone to just say it's bad, read the manga. Like, you don't want to do that, and it's hard to do that. But it feels like we're just taking the easy way out here. I mean, we're not, because blood, sweat, and tears are being put in no matter what. But I would appreciate it if something like Demon Slayer wasn't just coated with incredible, some of the best animation I've ever seen, and something like Blue Lock is just fucking whipped across the ass. I genuinely. Okay. His next hot take is, and the Parasite hardcovers should be in color. It looks like a child. Wait. Oh, shouldn't be in color. It looks like a child filled in the black and white manga with crayons. Okay. I don't have the full color. I just like manga in black and white, honestly. I just like the black and white. High School of the Dead's full color edition is adapted way better than Parasite's was. I don't know about that. Completely unrelated, but I finally read the end of the Blue Lock vs. U20 arc 2 months after the anime ended. I just don't understand why they rushed production so much when the English physical releases weren't even out yet for this arc. I mean, they're more focused on Japan, but who cares? Wouldn't that have been a perfect excuse to take more time so they can capitalize on profit, because English prints would be up to date and in stock? I just don't think production teams can do that. Genuinely, I mean, I would have loved if they stopped production, just halted it, and made it well. Honestly, I would not be mad if they took a year and a half to make the DVDs for Blue Lock Season 2 and just made the animation 10 times better. Like, I don't even need like JJK levels of animation. Just take the still frame and add 8 more frames to it of him actually running or something like that. It makes it like 10 times more better. Even though I am a believer that I actually like the Blue Lock animation. That's a whole other different story. I agree. I don't think Japan cares that much, though, to be honest. Like, the manga is already out in Japan. I don't think they care about America. Genuinely, I don't think they care that much about America. And then here's the final one, actually. First off, I would like to say thank you, everyone, for putting in a hot take. Thank you, everyone, for putting in a hot take. Thank you for watching my video. Thanks for agreeing or disagreeing with my hot takes. I always love doing these videos where I get to talk with the community. But here is the last one, which I genuinely have zero opinions on. But it is hot take, Naruto villains were right. And I feel like that is kind of the point of Naruto, where, at least of what I've heard, Naruto is a lot about how the villains are just good people who are in bad situations, who take the absolute wrong execution and are just heavily confused on what to do about it. And so they resource themselves to doing bad things. And Naruto is kind of like that stopgap that helps them, that turns their ways, and just makes them a better human being overall. And that's just what I hear about Naruto. At least when it comes to its villains. I don't really know anything. Like, I know there's a guy named Pain, because I think that name's pretty cool, but I literally do not know what he does at all. Or, like, why he does what he does. Whatever he does. So, yeah, go fight about that in the comments. I genuinely could not tell. Alright, that's going to be the end of the video. Let me just say one more time. Discord server is coming when we hit 2K or 1.5K if I'm feeling generous. And, what's it called? YouTube membership will be coming kind of soon. I think what YouTube membership will be is, because I want to do it, it'll be insanely cheap. It'll be $1 a month. But what I want to do it is, when you join, you get to decide what I read for the month, like just an extra manga that I read. Plus, you get to see a review on that. Plus, you get the videos early. So that'll be the YouTube membership probably. I don't know when that'll come. Honestly, I want to get the Discord server out there more. I genuinely don't know how to make a Discord server. I've been trying. I made a very, very small one, and it'll come to the public soon enough. When we get to 1.5K, which will be around probably June or July, maybe later, or August. Honestly, might do it by birthday time. My birthday is August 25th. We might do it then. Doesn't matter. All right, thank you for watching the video. If you made it to the end of the video, drop a... I want to say Cardamus, but I don't think Cardamus is a fucking thing. Cardamus emoji. Drop a car emoji. Drop a car emoji in the comment section down below. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you.